It's officially been over a month since Create Aeronautics released, and whilst we've all been tinkering away making wacky contraptions, there have been some insanely talented developers in the background making add-ons for this mod. And truly, I can't believe we're now in an era where we've got add-ons for add-ons of a Minecraft mod. But anyway, I've tried out every single publicly available add-on for Create Aeronautics, and I have picked my personal favourites to showcase in this video. So welcome to the Create Aeronautics add-on showcase. I'm here currently in a test version of my Aeronautics world, so hopefully I can not only show you the add-ons themselves, but also them in a little bit of a context of how you'd be using them in your builds. But without further ado, let's get into the first add-on. The first add-on I have to show you is Create Cardan Shafts. It adds only one item, being the Cardan Connector, and it is incredibly useful. One of the biggest challenges with Create is trying to get shaft power from one end of your vehicle to the other, which involves you making some pretty crazy spaghetti wiring, a bit like you're seeing here. But what if we could fix that with one item? Well, that's where the Cardan Connector comes into play. If I've got shafts in any kind of situation like so, even at varied different angles and heights like this, we can actually connect them all up using this new Cardan Connector. But let's say I power this shaft line over here. Well, I can come over and right click it like so, and then select my endpoint, and that will run a Cardan shaft through to these points. Also, I just want to give a massive props to the sound design of this. That sounds and looks absolutely incredible. Check this out. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we can connect all of these up like so and have our transmission and power running through our entire system a lot easier. Secondly, this also works from world to simulated contraption. So if I had a power line running from here as an example, I should be able to connect it to a shaft on this moving swivel bearing like that. So if I hook that up there and then right click like so, you'll see it will shrink and contract to match the sizing that we need for that simulated build, which is really, really neat. And it means that we can pass stress to our simulated builds a lot easier. Now, I will note there is a limit for this, and if you do stretch it too far, eventually it will pop off like that. So you can't just use this as wireless power, you do have to be somewhat sensible with it. This would definitely come in handy with my unfoldable base that I built. The way that we're currently getting this base to fold is by using a swivel bearing here. The cog rotates to fold and unfold this contraption, and then we give it shaft power in the back, and that is transferred through a gearbox all the way through this system here. So you'll see that works like so. However, if we didn't want to use this system, we could just try and use those Cardan shafts by having a connector here, and then, I don't know, a connector somewhere like that, and that would still work. And hopefully, I can still fold and unfold my contraption. Obviously, I probably need to figure out a better place to pop it so that this machine actually unfolds and folds properly, but that would work. Secondly, I had this upside down chute system here that uses a swivel bearing as well, which currently takes all of the items from my docking connector and pops them into this vault. But one of the things I really wanted to do was try and get biodiesel directly through here. The problem is that I really need to have some kind of pump connected to this, and we obviously need to power that pump. But there wasn't a good solution to get stress from the simulated contraption to our real world. And so, this Cardan shaft also fixes that issue, where I could simply have some kind of stress over here, and then hook it up like so, and I could then pump directly through this docking connector into my harvester setup, powering all of this. And as far as I'm aware, I don't think there is actually a vanilla Create Aeronautics way to get stress from the contraption over through a docking connector. So this method would enable a lot of cool concepts. Now, this wouldn't allow us to get fluid into the docking connector, and for that I have a different mod later down the line.